Welcome to the farm.
Welcome to the farm. I'm Justin, and today we're going to start putting together my garage in a box, and I'm really excited about that. So yesterday, in the last video, I finished kind of grading up this pad. I'll put a link to the video in the description below if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But I got this as close as I could get it. It's super muddy and wet, clay, so it did not spread really well. The tractor's having trouble just kind of spinning in the mud. But I got as close as I can get it. It's within a few inches, which is fine. If this were going to be a permanent structure, I would have made this pad a lot different. It would have been a lot more level, and I would not have used the material that I just had dug up, because it's, like I said, it's just clay. It's not a very good base. But since it's just a temporary garage, just one of those canvas structures, I'm not overly worried about it. Let's open this thing up, get started, and see what we get done.
It was really worth taking all the time to go through all these pieces and organize them out. It made finding the pieces and assembling them so much easier. I also went through and opened up the bag of bolts and nuts and stuff. It all came in one big bag, all the different sizes. So I actually took the time to sort out all the different bolts and nuts and put them in piles inside the big crate. I didn't show that on the video, but doing that made the assembly process so much quicker and so much easier. It would have taken me a lot longer had I not done this step.
Alright, so I got all the parts out, separated out by part number, which in itself was a chore because a lot of the part numbers are not overly legible. Thankfully I could read one of them and kind of match the same ones. They each look a little bit different. So hopefully I got them all laid out correctly so the assembly process goes really well. So I'm gonna grab the instructions and let's start putting hoops together.
So there are two kinds of hoops. There are the outside hoops, which is the one I assembled first, and the second one I assembled, and they have the little L feet that turn out, and that is to be able to hook the canvas to later. The other ones have just little feet on the end, and those ones go in the middle. When I assembled the end pieces, I made sure to have the head of the carriage bolt facing out towards where the tarp would be, and have the nut and the actual shaft of the bolt in towards the inside of the garage so it didn't create a sharp point for that canvas to rub on and eventually rip my canvas. There are also clamps that bolt to the inside of the hoops, and after doing that little shed that I did that you saw in the beginning of the video, I learned that I wanted to leave those loose to give me play, so when I put the horizontal pieces that hold all the hoops together in, I have a little bit of play and I can move those around, and then once I have the whole garage completely assembled, I'll tighten it all down at the end. Now that I got the first one assembled and I know how it works, I should be able to assemble the rest of them pretty quickly and easily. There is a certain order to which I'm assembling these and laying these out. I started with the back one and I laid that up on the hill, because when I build the actual garage itself, I'm going to start in the back and work forward. The next one I did was the front hoop, and I'm going to lay that on the bottom of the pile and put all the middle ones on top, so that way I can take the top one off the pile, move it right into place, and not have to worry about trying to get the middle ones out from underneath the front one or the front one out from underneath the middle ones. Everything will be in a nice order, should clip together pretty easily.
Alright, so I got all the hoops assembled now. It took me probably, I don't know, 45 minutes or so to get them all assembled. And now it's time to start linking the hoops together. So this is the part that's going to be really tricky, because I have to be able to get two hoops standing up and connect them together. And I'm not sure I'm going to do it by myself, but I think I have an idea. So let's give it a try and see what happens.
The plan is to bolt two of the hoops together while it's still laying on the ground, and then roll both hoops up together as one unit, and hopefully the two hoops will hold each other in place, and then I can build the other hoops off that once it's standing up. I think that'll be a lot easier than trying to assemble the first two hoops in a vertical position. The hardest part about this plan was trying to bolt the second hoop onto the side braces. The way the hoop is laying down with the feet on the ground, it really didn't want to line the holes up. They were kind of crooked, and trying to get the bolt through was kind of a pain. But once I found that sweet spot, the bolt slid right in. The two hoops bolted together pretty easy, and then I was able to just roll it right up. I'm going to go ahead and tighten these first two hoops down. That way I'll have a nice solid base to build the other hoops off of. The other hoops, as I assemble them, I'm just going to make them finger tight in case I need to shift the garage or move a leg. I think it'll be a lot easier to do later if those brackets are still loose. Now that I got the first two hoops secured, all I have to do is keep adding horizontal sections and keep lifting hoops over, bolting them in, and we'll have this together in no time.
Alright, so I got the frame loosely assembled. I didn't tighten down all the bolts holding everything, all the hoops together, because I'm still going to shift it around and move it a little bit. I am not happy with how it's sitting on the pad. So I think what I'm going to do is on this side here, I'm actually going to fill a little bit more and see if I can't pivot the whole thing this way, shifting the front that way, keeping that back corner in the same spot, and just pivot the whole thing a little bit and hopefully get it a little more level and fill in some low spots and stuff, and just try to get this a little more set before I tighten everything down and secure it in place and get ready to put the canvas on. So I'm going to fire up the tractor and start bringing over a little more dirt.
Now that I got this thing sitting in a better position, a little more level, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm gonna go ahead and square this thing up and get ready to put in the anchors.
Alright, so now that I got this thing kind of squared up, at least the four corners are, I can go ahead and anchor these posts in. And these are the anchors that came with it. And I'm sure they're good and fine, but I just filled all this in, so it's all really loose. So I'm gonna go with these guys, see if I can't get these things in.
This was by far the worst part of this whole project, was trying to get these anchors in. If there was even a slight little pebble in the way of that auger, it would just stop, would not go down, would not turn. I ended up using a hammer and pounding these in at least part of the way. I was able to get most of the way down. I still think it's better than using the small ones, but I'm pretty sure I messed up that little auger piece, and it's probably not as good as if it would have threaded down all the way on its own.
So I messed up. Put the anchors in the wrong spot. After all that work, they're wrong. I thought they were supposed to be by the holes in the end there, so that you could run the cable through the holes and then run it through the anchor and hold it down. They're not. They're supposed to be back in the corner, so that when I put that bottom brace going all the way across to hold the tarp down, they're supposed to loop over that bottom brace and hold everything down. So I got to redo those. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get those anchors out, because I hit rocks and pounded them in, so I'm sure that screw that's on there I bent all up and mangled, so it's probably not going to twist back out. So I'll end up getting some new ones, so that'll end up being tomorrow what I'll start with. So that'll be the end of this one. Hopefully you guys found it interesting and entertaining. If you did, please like it, we'd really appreciate it. Also consider subscribing. We obviously have at least one more video on this, if not two more on the garage build. We got barn grading, which I'm still hoping to get to this fall. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there or not. I'm really hoping to. And we got baby chickens coming. We got projects in the barn. We got hopefully starting to work on the case tractor soon. All kinds of good stuff coming up. So consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any of that. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.